Hi everyone. We're going to be looking at another topic, which is calculation and order. And I have my slides here. We're going to be explaining through this slide. Now, when we're talking about calculation, mathematics, we can't do without calculations, and it has to follow some steps. And that is the essence of this topic. Now, before we go ahead with any calculation, we can look at this. We have some symbols here that we're going to be looking at. This sign here, it means what? Equals to. And this sign we have here means not equals to. This sign means greater than. And this sign means greater than or equal to. This sign means less than. And this sign means less than or equal to. So in this slide, we're going to be making use of those signs we've mentioned. Now, when you're talking about we have some inequality here. Under ordering, we use number line to represent some expressions. Like when you have something like something is less than, when something is greater than, then we can express using number line. And here we have samples of number line. This arrow here is telling us that if you look at it, is facing towards less than, and this arrow here is facing towards what? Greater than. And this is on point. This point is pointing at 5, and this one is pointing at -7. If you look at this, this is not shaded. So this one is telling us that it's just less than, it's not equals to anything. But this is shaded here. So this is telling us that it is actually greater than and equals to something. So this number line, for this type of number line, we read it as x, because we don't have any specific value. So we denote each numbers that we do, or the unknowns, as what? X. So we can say that this is what? X less than 5. And this one is denoted as what? S greater than or equal to -7. So we have this, and we can drag it in here. Let's see. Okay. Now we have this as well. We can drag it in here. I think, let's check. We are right. So let's go to the next one we have here. Now, based on the previous explanation, I've told us that we have some signs that we use while calculation. So equals to, this is the sign for equals to. This is going to be a bit tedious, but we're going to try it out. This sign is for what? Is for not equals to. And let's, for greater than, I believe this should be the sign for greater than. Now, for, we have greater than or equals to. So based on, let's look at it, this should be sign for greater than or equals to. Okay, we have less than, so this sign should take less than or equals to. And we have less, okay, this should take less than or equals to 5. And this is what? Less than. So we have less than here as the right answer. So let's check. So those are the symbols we use while calculating some questions and also under inequality. Now we have a problem here to solve. Let's read through. The maximum number of players from one football team allowed on the pitch at any one time is what? Is 11. The minimum allowed is 7. So we have to represent the information that we've actually read now on an inequality and also on the number line. Number line is used to express informations, as I said. So if you want to express this one using inequality, from here they said what? Let's assume that the number of the players, we don't know the exact number. So let the exact number of players, let it be what? Let it be x. So if that is the x, then based on this, they said that x must be greater than or equals to what? Because we have the minimum allow is what? So x must be greater than or equals to 7. So that implies that any value below 7 cannot be among the player. And the maximum numbers of players that we have here is what? Is 11. So it must not be less than or equals to 11. So let's check. So which is telling us that the highest numbers of players that we can have is 11, and the minimum that we can have is 7. So if we have to follow that explanation, then the inequality should give us what? 7 less than or equals to x less than or equals to what? 11, because the numbers of players fall within the range of 7 and 11. So this should give us the right answer. So which is right. Now let's go to the next slide that we have here. If you look at this is a past question. So What they are telling us here is that we have a set of fraction like this. We are still going to look at fraction. So we have a set of fraction like this, and we have to arrange in the magnitude of the highest to the smallest. So if you have to arrange this, what we do basically is look at this. This is the numerator. We are still looking at, we're going to look at fraction, and this is denominator. So if you have to arrange it, since we are dealing with order of magnitude, so we want to know the highest and know the lowest. So the best thing for us to do here is to find the LCM. And how do we find the LCM of this type of fraction? You multiply all the denominators. So from here, if you multiply all these denominators 3 times, 2 times, 3 times, 13 times 15, sorry, times 5 times 18 times 19, it should give us 133,380. So after doing that, we're not going to be picking one of each of these fraction one after the other, and we'll be multiplying through. So if you have 1 over 2 multiplied by the LCM, then the missing value here should be 2, I guess. So by the time you have 133,380 divided by 2, we have this as answer. If you multiply 1 over 3 times 133,380, we have an answer to be 44,460. If you multiply 6 over 13 by the LCM, the missing value here should be 6 because we are multiplying 6 with this, and our answer by the time we multiply through, then we have divided by 13. If you divide this by 13, so I believe we should be able to have this as our answer. Let's see. Okay, it's not bringing it in. So if we are to look at this, we are to have this as our answer. Okay, now let's look at the next one. 4 over 5 times the LCM. Which multiply 4 over 5 with the LCM, it should give us this. So we have rearranged it. This should give us this anyway, and this should be the answer for uh 6 over 13 multiplied by the LCM. Now we have 7 over 18 multiplied by 133,380. The answer should give us 933,660. And if we divide that by 18, we should have 51,870. Now, the last fraction here is what, 2 over 19. So I believe 2 is missing here. So if we have this here, we have 2 over 19 multiplied by 133,380, which is the LCM, and we have our final answer to be 14,040. So based on this, this is what we are now going to be using to arrange this fraction. We want to check which one is the highest. Let's look at it. I think the highest is 4 over 5, so we have 4 over 5 first. Now, after 4 over 5, which one is next? Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. The answer, I think, is 1 over 2. So 1 over 2 is next. We have 1 over 2. After 1 over 2, we have 6 over 13. After 6 over 13, we have 7 over 18. After 7 over 18, we have what? 1 over 3, which is 44,460. And the last value there, which is the last fraction here, is what? 2 over 9, which gives us 14,040. So we've checked the arrangements, we are good. So let's see. This is another inequality here. Let's study this inequality and let's solve. If you look at this, this is telling us that the value ranges from what? 7 to 11. And since we have so many numerous values here, we are denoting that as what? Unknown. So if you have to express this, we have to express it as what? 7 less than x less than or equals to what? 11. So we have this as our answer. Look at this. This is telling us that the value starts from 0 and stop at 4. So, but it is painted. So we have something like equals to here. We have something like, we have the denotation sign of equals to here as well. So for this one, it's going to be 0 less than or equals to x less than or equals to 4. So we have this. Now let's look at this. This one is telling us is that we don't have equals to answer, but if you look at this, this is denoting a painted value. So that implies that it's going to be what? Equal to. So we can say from here that -1 is less than or equals to x less than or equals to -4. So, and this one here, if you look at this one is telling us we have something like an equals to sign here, and this is less than, based on this arrow, this is less than, so it's going to be x less than or equals to 3. Now let's look at it. Let's check if we are right. I think we are right. So let's go to the next slide. This is the first question. They are telling us here that within this range of -3, that we should list the value of n from -3 to what? To +3. So that implies that the value range is going to be starting from minus less than or equals to -3. And value range is going to be starting from -3 and stop at 2. Why? Because n is less than 3. So 3 is not going to be in our value. So we have listed -3, we've listed -2. So let's look at the remaining value that we are supposed to have here. So we are supposed to have -3, -2, then we have what? -1, then we have what again? We have 0. After 0, then we have 1. After 1, what is the next value that we have? We have 2. So let's check. So I think those are the values that are in for these inequalities. This brings us to the end of this topic. We want you to subscribe to our channel, which is www.edubbey.com, for the full details of this interactive book. Thank you for listening.